Let me do my intro.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Never mind. Go. Ready?
Our friendship started on tour.
I would definitely agree with that.
when I came to your, what did I come to your door for? For Band-Aids.
Is that what it? You have great memory.
Yeah.
There were other people in my room. Like everybody used to just come to my room. Remember? Everybody used to just come to my
and sit there and talk about nothing.
We talked about stuff.
We talked about nothing.
Jesus.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We were far from talking about Jesus. Praise the Lord.
Oh, but I know I've been changed. But yeah.
The tour used to be fun, though. It was fun. Sometimes, because I think about it all the time, like, because we all left, like, that year that I graduated, like, all of us, all of us left at the same time.
Yeah.
But it was like, I think about it, I was like, because I know we were always saying, after this, that's it. We're done.
We did.
But I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have stayed.
I miss it.
But is it possible to try to force something that shouldn't be forced?
I think if you stay in a place longer than what you're supposed to stay in a place, then it starts. So, like, I think it would have, I'm not going to say got bad. It's just like the time was up. Our time was up. And it was time for the new people to come in, and it's a new thing. I
didn't want it to be up, though.
I know, but it was time.
But that is true, though. That is true, though, because as, like, after we left, Wesleyan had took on a new shift.
Yeah.
It was like something that choir needed.
Yeah.
But that we weren't going to be able to give them.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah, it's a new thing now. Like when I see them on tour or some of their videos, it's a new thing. Yeah.
And it's probably, and from looking at them, it's something that we probably would not be able to do.
Okay, I would not have. I know I would not have. Just because, like, you know, and some of that stuff had started to trickle in. Like some of those people, and though, you know, it had started to trickle in a little bit. But then, like you said, as we left, then all of those new faces and new people started to come in. And now, you know, it's still going. So,
yeah.
But I do miss it. You know what I do? I do base a lot of, like, when I go to choir rehearsal now, I base a lot of things off of Wesleyan. It's weird. Like, for example, if I go to rehearsal and, you know, my mom just passed. So if I go to rehearsal and in my heart I'm needing something, at Wesleyan we didn't even have to say, oh, I'm going to rehearsal because I need something. We didn't even have to say that. Like, it just kind of, it just happened.
Yeah. But at least we can look back and look at those times and say, hey, we had a good run.
Yeah.
That was time. That was what we needed for that particular season, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I'd be like, nah, I need some of that now. But God said no. Because it's crazy how being in Wesleyan, I was not a minister. It wasn't until my season was about to be up with Wesleyan that I accepted the call.
Yeah.
And I look at that now and I'm like, whoa, so God does do things in steps. Because I could have easily been a preacher in Wesleyan. But it wasn't God's plan for that.
I think mine when I look at it that way, in that context, I think about it like my children were, especially my girls, but even my girls were younger then.
Mm-hmm.
So some of those, I used to talk to a lot of girls about
Yeah.
things, just life. And I've had to use some of those same things that I've talked to them about for my own children or for their friends. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, that's not even what I came to Wesleyan for, but that's what I ended up doing and being for people. And that's like, sometimes I'm like, I learned nothing, not even to do with like Wesleyan necessarily, but just like with the girls and me talking to the girls, and then some of the guys. But I'm like, yeah, I miss it, but I'm still applying those same things that I've
Yeah.
learned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's always a learning experience when you walk into something.
yeah,
I know from me, I had to learn how to be a leader, and from watching people like Mr. Rowley and how he led us as our
yeah,
advisor, it's like I needed to watch him.
right,
'Cause I
right.
never knew Mr. Rowley before Wesleyan.
Before,
And it's
yeah,
like from the first day of walking in there, because I don't think because you weren't there, but the first day that I walked in as a freshman at Savannah State, I was just going to the rehearsal just to check them out because I've always
yeah,
heard of Wesleyan. I was like, let me go see what they're doing. I heard they was having a newcomers rehearsal. It's like, let me go and see what they all about. And I walked in, and it was like, I might need to stay and try this out. And
yeah,
from that day on, and becoming a director from just getting there, working with Farrell, and it was just an amazing experience to be able to be with such a group that we had. I know, and we also battle our ups and downs with each
yeah,
other and with outside stuff, but we were able to come together and still
yeah.
worship God. And that was the amazing part. Now, what I want to talk about is that Lincoln experience.
Whew.
When we went to Lincoln University.
I don't even. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how to. I'll never. I mean, it's a lot of things I'll never forget. Lincoln, at least twice, I know for sure. I'll never ever forget it. Like, I don't know, us plus them combined. I don't know if it was just them. Like, if that type of experience happened when it was just them. I mean, it did happen when it was just us, but then with them and us.
Yeah.
Whew. The first year, I was kind of in the background, like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
because Mr. Riley I didn't sing. Mr. Riley sent me up there to go
That's right.
try
Yeah.
to get some people, and that was the first year. The second year, people was getting me because I there was like this, like a very strong, I mean, I can even, when I hear people say sweet, it was a sweet, like, it's just like the whole thing. I got tears in my eyes. It was
Don't. No.
okay. It was something that I will never forget. Like, really, I'll never forget it. So, and I remember even after, I remember people bragging about tour, and when they would say
Yeah.
Lincoln, they would say, "Oh, when we get to Lincoln." Like, I remember them saying, "Just wait till we get to Lincoln. It's gonna really be like." So it was something that was expected. I hope that still happens, but
Yeah. I do know that was one of the highlights of the tour. Like,
yeah,
even though it was a good experience to be able to go to New York and go to Washington and all that stuff, but to have that experience with Lincoln, and experience God on another level up north, as
yeah,
opposed to us being in
that's
Georgia.
yeah,
And it's like we didn't care where we were. We felt like we were at home.
Yeah, we did.
They made us feel like we were at home, and so when we just let loose, we let loose. It's something to find God coming in the midst of turmoil and pain, and be able to give us some release, because at that moment we needed it.
Definitely.
We really needed it, and we were able to get it, and not only do it that year, but to come back the next year and do the exact same thing, but on a higher level.
Exactly. And then you poked me with that pen.
I almost killed you with that pen.
I almost lost my life at Lincoln, but it's okay, you know. I mean, I still have one of those pens. I found it the other day.
Really?
It's probably the pen. Remember the pen you poked me with? I took it.
I got that's right. Because it came off of me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in my skin, I believe. I don't know, probably.
That stuff like that is what makes me not want to leave Wesleyan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know it's seasonal and all that stuff, but it's a lot of times that I'm heartbroken to the fact that I got to leave something that I fell in love with.
Yeah.
Literally. And it's something for us to look back on and say, hey, that was some good stuff.
That was that was some good stuff. And you know, I was still in the. I got divorced in 2014, so I came to Wesleyan toe up.
Yeah, you cried like, every rehearsal.
Tore up.
You cried every rehearsal. We could have sung.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
That was just in my head. We could have sung that, and you would have been crying.
I was tore up, and like Wesleyan did, you know, of course, it helped. But I think what helped me more than anything was when we used to sit around and we used to do the little, what do you love about Wesleyan?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the year I lost?
I do remember the year you lost. I do remember that. You said you gonna cry?
No.
It's okay.
No, I'm just thinking about all the stuff we did. Well, you weren't there fully for that one. That was during the time that you were in and out. Because I ran in 14.
I remember knowing that you lost and not being able to say anything.
Because we had just came back from tour, and then we did the voting, and I think you started to avoid me.
Like
you were avoiding me, and I was like, man, I thought I had it. Man, I got this. Wasn't even thinking that you were avoiding me because I had lost. I was like, man, I got this. I'm about to be the president of this choir. We about to do this thing. And to get there to that banquet and to hear my name not being called.
Not called.
And that night, you still didn't look at me. So you could have at least told me.
No. That wasn't my position. I was doing my job.
Then the next year came, and I decided to run again. It was like, let me just try it again. Let me just try it one more time. You did the exact same thing. But this time,
wasn't my job. It wasn't my job. I had a job.
This time, you knew that I had won, but you still couldn't tell me. But that time that we were over at your house, I had knew at that moment when you had went to the kitchen and we started talking about it, and you was trying to hide in the kitchen. I knew at that moment that I had won.
You should have last year.
And it's like I was just getting myself ready at that point. It's time.
And I mean, from there, it just went. You know what, though? I just thought about for the most part, the board, like the people that ran with, like how strategic.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, this would need to happen, and this is what need to happen, and then I want this to happen. It was very strategic.
And I just felt like, I was new to it, but I was like, I know what Wesleyan can do.
Right.
And then, of course, that was a big year. We were celebrating our 40th anniversary. And we had to deal with the reunion people, the alumni. I was like, we could not do the bare minimum.
You mean slacking? That was a negative. No. No. I mean, that was amazing too. Now,
because I remember that was the year that I was still the director of the youth choir at my church, and our anniversary was the same day as Wesleyan.
I remember,
and I was so mad because I was fighting with the church, and you know how church folk is. No, we done had this date for years. It's like, come on, one Sunday? Then you move it one Sunday?
I remember you being so stressed out about that.
I was so mad. The only time I had in between the anniversaries was 1 hour. Matter of fact,
3 o'clock.
Let's go back. Let's go back. If we want to go back, let's go back. I had to meet the choir at the church at 3 o'clock. Make sure we did the sound check and all of that. Then I had to leave from there. Leave y'all at that church, getting dressed. Go do my anniversary with the youth choir. Leave from there after the choir sung their last song and they marched down. Yeah. I marched out the door to come back to the church to be ready for praise and worship at 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you being there for sound check, and I do remember you leaving. And I do remember worrying if you were going to, like, oh my God, if Johnny don't make it back.
And this was my first anniversary as the president.
If Johnny don't make it back over here. Oh. Yeah, I remember being, because everybody took pictures. There are no pictures of you from the back.
No pictures.
Because you were
no pictures of me because I was not there.
Yeah.
I was so mad. Yeah. But I knew I had an obligation at my church. And I knew I had an obligation with Wesleyan. So I had said, God, just help me get through this day. And he helped me, but it was like, I can't do this again.
Yeah.
I can't, because that was two big moments.
Yeah.
Because, before Wesleyan was coming to our youth choir's anniversary. But this particular year, our anniversary had to fall on that 4th Sunday because of how spring break came. And, we normally go on tour after anniversary.
Right.
And I was like, man, so I went to my church and I went to my pastor and the advisors, and I was like, can we move it to another Sunday? And he was like, no. No. And I said, oh my goodness. And it was at that moment that I was like, can I quit? And I couldn't even quit because I did not want to disappoint the young people because they had worked so hard. They were ready for it. And I was like, man, y'all.
You did that though. You were stressed out. I remember. You would be shocked. I think because of what I went through with the divorce. I know this might be strange, but I'm being completely transparent when I say this. It has somehow prepared me for the loss of my mom. I don't really know how to put it into context because the divorce, they say it's like the loss of someone, like somebody, because to me it felt like he passed away. And I remember saying like I can never get that bad again. If I ever get that bad again, I don't know if I'll make it. So, and I'm not trying to be all saved and sanctified and churchy, but I'm being for real. Like, God has kept, every time I think about, because I'm supposed to be still. It's only been 3 months. Tore up. I laugh more than I cry. Now I do have my moments where I get quiet and I just don't want to be bothered. So it's still there, and I still try to talk it out, and I still might be a little bit in denial. I don't know, but I don't think I'll get back to a place. Never again.
So you think Wesleyan helped you with that, or was it something that you did?
It wasn't anything I did. I mean, I was going to church. Mr. Riley was my deacon. That's how I got introduced to Wesleyan. But coming to Wesleyan and talking it out, remember I used to have to tell my story over and over and every time I would tell it, I would get stronger.
Over and over and over and over. Like every time we sat down to the restaurant, every time we was in the room, it always came up. I didn't know then that you were trying to get it out.
But at the same time, like I think, like I compared so many things to that. Like if somebody said they were, as a young child, something happened, then I would say, okay, so I know how it feels to be in a bad place, and you can get past it. Like it's not your fault. Like those, even though it was a different thing that happened, the result was like hurt and like all of those, like, so me saying it over and every time somebody would say, I need to talk to you. I need to get something off my chest. I got this going,
I told you had an assignment.
I'm positive that's what that was. Like my Wesleyan thing, the music was amazing, but I don't think, because I could have sat in the crowd and listened to the music.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that I got connected is because of that. Because I had to go through that to get through some things, and also to help some other people get through some, like all at the same time. So
you wrote a lot of stuff at that Bible study we had, though. I don't know what I was talking about. I forgot what I was talking about.
I'm gonna tell you what you was talking about.
Because I forgot. I don't know.
You were talking about love. It's easy to love the people that you communicate with every day, your children, your family. But how about loving somebody that don't love you back, or somebody that treats you?
I remember now.
I was like, ooh. I was like, whoa. Or somebody that did something to you. And I was like, you know what? But God love us anyway. And we do stuff. Well, we... Okay.
All right, so we have 4 shows. We're going to do the process of elimination, okay?
Okay.
And 4 shows that I sent you is what we're going to debate. We're going to take turns taking one off until we get to the best one. We don't have to choose the same one, but we're going to argue why you chose to take that one off. All right?
But I know which one you're going to choose in the end. But okay, go.
Don't worry about it. So the shows, I'm going to put it up on the screen for y'all to see, but the shows are The Cosby Show, Fresh Prince, Martin, and Blackish. So you want to go first, or you want me to go first? What's the first one you're taking off?
I'm taking off Blackish.
That's the first one I'm taking off too. And the reason why I'm taking it off, not because it's not a good show, it's just it wasn't an interest of mine.
Yep, I agree. Like I tried to watch it.
Yeah.
It didn't have the same, to me, it didn't have the same, I don't know, concept as the older shows.
Yeah. And I was like, maybe, to me, it was not Blackish at all. Even though they're talking about black issues, it seemed like a white show.
I agree. It did.
And
And I mean, I still would have watched it. It's just like, it was just, I guess because the name of it, we had a certain, in our mind, we thought, okay,
yeah,
this is what it's going to be about. And that's not, like you said, to you, that's not what they were talking about. So, yep.
now they
Straight
do
through.
they talk about race and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
nah. All right, Blackish is gone for both of us. What is next for you?
Oh, because this is where it gets tricky. Okay, but wait. So, in terms of as we're striking these shows off, you mean overall, like how?
Overall, we're talking about creativity. We're talking about acting. We're talking about how things went down, how it made you feel. Something that you can binge watch right now and not get tired of it. But which one are you taking off that you said, hey,
Oh my God. I'm gonna, okay,
it's hard.
You're not gonna agree.
Oh.
You're not gonna agree. Binge watch.
No, what you taking off?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Okay. I'm gonna have to. Okay. There's only one episode that makes me want to not say this one, but that one episode does not. I can't use that one episode, so I'm gonna scratch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You thinking about the one episode?
You talking the one with the father?
Because that one had me. I was bawling.
You're scratching Fresh Prince?
I'm scratching Fresh Prince. That was the only episode that had me. Other than that, it was just like, I know.
Over Martin and the Cosby Show.
Well, I mean,
Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna have to agree. And the reason why I'm agreeing, the show was good. The problem that I had was when they switched Aunt Viv.
Yeah.
I know they had their issues behind the camera, but to get from a dark-skinned mom or aunt to a light-skinned aunt who are totally different.
They were way different.
Because the first Aunt Viv, she was kind of stern and she was heavy. But it's like when they replaced her, they got a woman who was just there.
Yeah. And that's what it seemed like.
Fill the space.
I think I feel like if I were to have to like quote some of the earlier shows, I probably could before the switch.
Listen, this is how I feel. As a writer, I would have preferred that they kill Aunt Viv.
Yeah.
Versus replacing her.
I agree.
But I think it was it on Nick at Night? Where did it start? On NBC? I don't think they were really heavy on killing off characters or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I would have rather they kill Aunt Viv.
Yeah, me too.
Rather than put that lady in there and she
was Aunt Viv. And then it was she wasn't. She was, but she wasn't. Yeah.
And then they put a little joke in there, talking what Jazz said, oh, you look different or something. And then Will looks at the camera. Come on. It's so corny. God.
Oh God. So yeah.
All right.
The first idea. Yeah.
Here we go. The Cosby Show and my aunt.
Okay. It's your turn.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody that knows me knows,
including myself,
that I love the Cosby Show. At my house right now is every single episode of the Cosby Show. When they took it off of the network, because they had problems and he was raping people, say what you want. You can cancel it, but I got it in my house. So I can watch it when I want to, how I want to, wherever I want to. Cosby Show, even though people say that that was not your modern day black family, with the mom and dad together in the house, and the dad is a doctor, the mom is a lawyer. Yeah. When I tell you that I fell in love with that family, made me want to be in that family.
Oh, you wanted to be a Cosby? Like
I wanted to be a Huxtable. I really did. That one episode when they changed the house into an apartment complex for Theo. And he went in the house, went to his room, and it was empty.
You probably
and he said, "Where is my stuff?" That was between that episode and the episode where Claire was hollering at Vanessa and said, "You wanted to go out and have fun with the wretched."
You know what? I'm not doing this with you.
I absolutely love the Cosby Show. Now, Martin is hilarious. It's hilarious from beginning to ending. All of the characters that he had, Shanae and Jeroni Ron, and all these people that he had, and how he was cracking on Pam all the time. Gina got a big head. Tommy don't have no job. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. But God bless them. But I'm going to have to let go Martin and go with the Cosby Show, because that is where I can literally sit down and watch the whole Cosby Show from beginning to ending, every episode, every season, for a whole week and be through. And then, if I feel like it, because I've done it before, if I feel like it, I will start all over again and do it again. That's just my show.
Well, I think I would have to agree. Maybe not for the same exact. I mean, like you said, Martin is funny. I can binge watch Martin and just laugh all day long. All the different characters. Like, I can watch Martin all day and laugh. But the Cosby Show had all types of issues. There was laughter. There was, I mean, all of the children were different, and you got the boys. I mean, it was, you had everything. Like, I've sat down and watched the Cosby Show quietly, like, oh my God, you know, whatever. But then I've also cracked up laughing. There were real issues. Like you said, there was a mom and a dad and the children, something that, especially growing up, I wasn't used to seeing. And it was like displayed for everybody to see it. So I think I'm have to agree. And I don't have the box sets.
Like, don't worry about it. I got it.
That's all right. I'll get yours.
No. Nobody borrows my Cosby Show.
Okay.
Thank y'all so much for joining us for The Lamp is On. We hope to see you next week. Be blessed.